There, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to this month's Stretch the Sketch. Today we are using this awesome sketch that was hand drawn by MK Gunn, and she is also participating in Stretch the Sketch this month. So I'm really curious to see how she stretches her own sketch, and I think it's a really cool sketch. It's got 4 photos, and it's got like this hexagon look in the background, and so I decided to use this cut file that I have to mimic the cut file or the hexagons on her sketch, and I decided to go large and do a double page. And so I'm kind of doing a loose grid here. Hers is very much grid-like, so I'm doing kind of a loose grid there, just lining my photos up into 2 horizontal rows. And I like how that's looking. I am going to back everything onto black, but rather than back them individually, I am backing them so that they are each side of each 12 by 12 is on one black piece, and I'm keeping that center space equal in the middle, and I do want that piece that is a 4x6 card hanging off of the mat and reaching all the way to the edge. That is by design. And so now I kind of have to match up the opposite side because I want the gaps to be the same, but the photos are not all the same height. So I'm just going to play with that here. And you can see my 8.5 by 11 is a little bit shorter there, and that's totally okay. I don't mind that. I just wanted to make sure that the gap down the center horizontally was equal on both sides, because she has some, like, I don't know if it could be washi tape, it could be ribbon, it could be branding strips down the center there. So I am going to cut some border strips apart and use those. But first of all, I am going to mimic the 4x6 card that is down on the bottom right. I'm going to mimic that in the upper left, and I want that piece to come off of the page, and I'm using border strips to do that because it carries all of those same colors through. Now that is going to change slightly as I move things around, but at least I'm getting it lined up, and I have to put it on the black first and then stretch it out all the way to the edge of that vertical striped paper background, and then trim it off to get the right size. So I like how that's looking, and now I'm just toying with the idea of that hexagon, which kind of looks like honeycombs. I think this is an exclusive cut file from the Creative Cuts Club, and it's really kind of cool. It's funky and cool, and the design is really different. Kind of looks like a honeycomb, but that center one kind of looks like it would be a 3D square. I don't know. There's a lot of different looks you can get out of that. So then I decided to go through my branding strips and pull out some that I thought would work, and I found this dark green, and that is probably from One Canoe 2, and it has kind of a little bit of that hexagon shape to it, so it's hard to see it on camera, but it is there. And I mean, it wasn't a big deal because it definitely had the color that I wanted, so it didn't really have to have that hexagon shape, but I definitely was enjoying that it did match up. So so now I am measuring and trimming off this border strip piece so that it carries that same gap all the way down the center, and I like how that's looking. And then I do ink up the edges here of the pieces that are on the striped paper. I didn't really ink up anything that was not on the striped paper because it's already bordered by black, so I think that works out fine. You can see everything. And then I'm going to just glue those down. Now, Stretch the Sketch has been going almost 3 years, so it's pretty exciting. May will be our 3rd anniversary, but there are a ton of people playing along, so you can go check out how they stretched this sketch. And we do this the 3rd Sunday of every month, so come back and check us out if you enjoy working with sketches and modifying them to fit your needs. This is a perfect series for you. Some of us go large, some of us go small. It just really depends on what we're working with that particular day, and so you never know what you're going to get. And even when several of us do 12 by 24, so double page layouts, they still always look different. So it's really fun, and it's very cool. It's very cool to see how different minds work differently with the same product or the same sketch or what have you. So I did ink up all of these cut files with black distress ink, and it's just plain old black distress ink. It's not the oxide, it's just the regular. And I like how that's looking. These photos are of my son. He's in the brown camo shirt, and his Cub Scout den. We went to our property in the Sierras, and so they're hanging out up there. They're roasting marshmallows and hot dogs over the grill and playing games and just having fun. So just documenting. It's kind of like a camp out. They did camp outside. Some of the boys. I did not camp outside, but some of the boys did. We do have a cabin up there that has some space for beds, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. Brings back memories because I think these are like from, I want to say like 2006 or 7. So I'm just stretching that cut file across the double page there and gluing it down with some liquid adhesive. That's just Nouveau Deluxe adhesive. It's one of my favorites. It is actually my favorite liquid glue. It dries clear and it dries quick, and so I like it for those reasons. And it has a fine nozzle, so just one more reason to enjoy it. So just inking up these and gluing them down, and I like how that looks. It just gives you that illusion that there is a bunch of it behind all of these photos as well, even though they are it is not behind the photos. I'm just trying to place this where I think it would work well. I don't want it to look like an extension of that upper piece. I want it to look like its own piece. So was just playing around with how to do that. And then I pulled in this wood grain, and I like the wood grain because it matches the frame around that bottom right hand 4x6 card. And so between the wood grain and that dark green, I think it looks really good. I didn't bother to trim off that little white piece on that wood grain on the right because the green is going to cover that up. And I'm just getting them the length I want on the right hand side, and then I will trim off the excess on the left hand side. I'm not really worrying about that and trying to measure ahead of time. And I'm going to just do the same thing on the left. Now this time I started from the center and worked my way to the right, and I don't know why I did that. Normally that is not my go-to. So here you go. You see, again, I'm just doing it the way I normally do. I don't know what prompted me to go the opposite way, but and then I pulled in this piece that has these, it's like a minty green, but it's got these mustard color trees on it, and I decided to pull that in because there's a lot of mustard color up in that upper left hand corner, and so I want to pull some of that down into the onto the right hand page, so you can see it's more prevalent on the right hand side than on the left hand side, just pulling in those lighter colors that are already in the area where I'm going to build my title. So my title is going to be Cabin Campout, and as you can see, I'm short of A's, so I use the @ sign and a V upside down, and that works out. So this is the story of my life with black thickers. I am out of A's and E's in almost all of my black thickers, and so I'm having to make things work. And in fact, I was out of a T as well, so I ended up using an F, and I cut the little top off of it, and it works. You know, nobody's going to really know it was an F except for maybe me and anybody else who had this thicker set, but nobody in my family is going to know. Nobody who looks at my album is really going to know. So I just decided to go ahead and go with it. I really like this little piece that says Stargazer, and it is a sticker, and I did end up finding an O, so I decided to swap out that O, and which I like better because the O was so tall it was pushing the upper word up too far for my liking. And so I'm backing this sticker onto some black, and I like how that looks, and I like that it says Stargazer on it because a lot of these photos are at night, so that was kind of fun. And I don't know why I'm off screen there, but apparently I was looking for something. I don't know what. So I have this little blue piece that I end up using at the bottom of that framed portion, the framed 4x6 card. I apologize that I'm off screen and that you can't see it. You will see it in the close-ups. And then I have this bird. I'm going to go ahead and perch this bird on top of the T in Campout just to fill that space. And then I have a squirrel that I am going to put on the opposite side of the title just to kind of frame the title and give it some interest up there. And I'm also just using some foam tape from, pardon me, some foam. It's not foam tape, it's fun foam from Walmart. And it is adhesive backed on one side. And then I glue it down to my layout with my liquid adhesive. And that works well. And I'm creating a journaling spot to hang down right up here by the title. And I like how that looks. I was just marking it there with my scissors as to where I wanted it cut because I want it to hang down as part of the title. I don't want it to extend above that black framed area of photos. And then I want to pull in those colors that are in the border strips over to the right hand side. So I'm going to cut a tag or a label and put it over on the left or the right hand side so I can carry those colors across. And I'm going to pop those up onto foam, I believe. And so I'm really enjoying how that's looking. And I think it's all coming together really nicely. I don't have a big, huge embellishments or anything. I know she's got some florals on there, but you know, when there's an embellishment that's indicated by florals or stars or whatever, you can change that to be anything you want. It does not have to be what's on the sketch. It's just indicating that it is the embellishment area. So feel free to make those changes. I am pulling in some brads that are camping related, so I believe those are from the My Mind's Eye Wander collection. And I like how that looks. And then I'm adding a little bit more of this wood grain. Those are the offcuts from that center stretch of wood grain that I put down the middle. And just layering up a couple of things up there so it looks like some tabs. And that's going to do it. So go check out all of the other ladies that are playing along and give them a little love. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave those down below. I will get back to you as quickly as I can. I really do appreciate the comments and questions. And hit like if you enjoyed this video. And if you're not already subscribed, I'd love for you to subscribe to my channel. And if you are subscribed, thank you so much for subscribing and sticking with me. I will see you guys tomorrow for another 30 days of sketches. And I do have another 30 days of sketches on my channel today, so you can check that out as well. Have a great day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.